Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Functional Longevity Podcast, where we give you insight on how to get fit, feel younger, live better. I'm your host, Chris Borda, best-selling author and owner of Y.E.S Fitness. Well, let me first thank you for taking time from your busy day to listen to what I have to say. This is, I think, a really important topic today. Before I go any further, let me also thank our sponsor, Y.E.S Fitness. People lose the ability to enjoy life as they age. At Y.E.S Fitness, we help people age 40 plus get fit so they can live longer and enjoy those extra years doing the things they love to do. Some quick housekeeping. If you'd like to get a timestamp or a transcript of today's broadcast, head on over to YesFitnessCT.com. On the top, you'll see a drop down for podcasts. Click that. It'll give you now access to any one of our now 384 episodes. You can also get this broadcast wherever podcasts can be found. If you're training, eating well, and still dealing with low energy, brain fog, or stubborn blood sugar issues, that's usually not a motivation problem. It's a cellular one. As we age, our mitochondrial function slows, metabolic control slip, and recovery takes longer. That's why I use Particular. Their NNM supports cellular energy production. Resveratrol helps protect heart and brain health. Berberine improves blood sugar control and metabolic flexibility, all critical for healthy aging after 40. These are clean, science-backed supplements made right here in the USA, and I've personally noticed better energy focus and recovery since taking them. If you want your body to respond again, visit particular.com. That's Particular.com. And use the code YES15 for 15% off. How exercise builds a stronger defense against cancer. If you've been listening to this podcast for any length of time, you know I'm careful about big claims. I just had a high school friend die of cancer. 65, 66 years old. That's just way too young. And most people know someone who has passed away from cancer. It is a horrible disease. But I'm very careful about big claims. I don't use words like miracle or cure. I don't believe in silver bullets. But I do believe in leverage, simple, repeatable actions that create powerful biological effects over time. Today's episode is about one of those levers, because exercise is no longer just something we talk about for weight loss, fitness, or looking better in the mirror. Exercise has increasingly become recognized as a form of medicine, a systematic therapy that can influence how the body functions and at the cellular level, including how it responds to cancer. In a recent study in breast cancer survivors gives us a hopeful, practical, and very empowering takeaway. A single workout, just one workout, can change what's circulating in your blood in a way that slows cancer cells growth in the lab. It's in the lab. More research needs to be done, but this is very exciting. Exercise is more than movement. For decades, we've known that physically active people tend to have lower cancer risk and better outcomes after diagnosis. But knowing that and understanding why are two very different things. The big question has always been, what is exercise actually doing inside the body? Well, this study helps answer that by focusing on something most people have never heard about, but everyone should understand. Your muscles don't just move, they communicate. So here's this study in plain English. Let's look at it. Researchers looked at 32 women who have previously been diagnosed with stage 1 to stage 3 breast cancer. On average, they were about 2.5 years post-diagnosis and had a completed treatment at least 4 months earlier. These women were randomly assigned to do one workout, their strength training or intensity cardio, high intensity cardio. Not weeks, not months, just one session. So here's the strength training results. The strength training group performed 8 common exercises, 5 sets, 8 reps. That's a lot of sets, but this was the study. 5 sets of 8 reps at about 80% of their max strength, with an effort of about 7 to 9 out of 10. This was real training, focused, challenging, and intentional. 80%, that's working hard. 7 to 9 out of a scale of 10, that's working hard. So here's the HIIT session, high intensity interval training. The cardio group performed short bursts of hard effort with brief recovery periods using machines like treadmills, rowers, or bikes. Again, at an effort level of 7 to 9 out of 10. Different tools, same intent. Let's work hard. So here's what the study measured. Blood samples were taken before exercise, immediately after, and 30 minutes later. Researchers measured specific molecules released during exercise and signals produced by working muscles. Then comes the fascinating part. They took that post-exercise blood and exposed cancer cells in the lab. In other words, they asked, does blood after exercise behave differently from blood before exercise? Here's some crazy results. Both workouts triggered meaningful changes. Strength training increased several protective signals in the bloodstream. HIIT, or high intensity interval training, increased them even more, mostly because it placed a higher total demand on the body. But here's the key point. Both worked. When cancer cells were exposed to post-exercise blood, blood from strength training slowed cancer cell growth by about 20%. Blood from HIIT slowed growth by about 30%. Just one workout, one session, a measurable change. Now, that doesn't mean exercise cures cancer, but it does mean exercise changes the internal environment in a way that makes it harder for cancer to survive and thrive. The real lesson is not about the modality. This study wasn't really about weights versus cardio. It's about effect. The body responds to challenge. When you ask more of your system safe, intelligent limits, it responds with stronger signals. Not punishment, not exhaustion, just honest work. And no signals throughout the body. That's why exercise is so strongly anti-cancer. So why does this happen? Why does exercise have such a powerful protective effect? Man, exercise is good for so much stuff. Well, here are 3 big reasons. First, your muscles send protective messages. When you exercise, your muscles release chemical messages into the bloodstream. Think of them as text messages sent throughout your body. Those messages help activate the immune system, stress abnormal cells, improve the environment around tumors, shifts the body towards anti-inflammatory, anti-growth signaling. And this starts immediately after exercise. Every workout sends a message with consistency. Those messages compound. Second, exercise creates a more hostile environment for cancer cells. Here's something most people never hear. When you exercise, blood flow speeds up. That creates physical forces inside your bloodstream. Cancer cells are fragile compared to normal blood cells. They don't handle those forces well. At the same time, exercise mobilizes immune cells, especially natural killer cells, into circulation. These are cells designed to identify and destroy abnormal cells. And when blood flows as fast as dynamic, those immune cells become even more effective. That's why intensity matters. We talk about intensity all the time here. Intensity is different for everyone, but we've got to have intent, and we need to be intense. Not reckless, not extremes, not complete exhaustion where we're dead on the ground, just real effort. And third, exercise protects you at every stage. Exercise doesn't just matter for prevention. It matters before, during, and after cancer. Before cancer, regular activity significantly lowers risk, especially in breast, colon, and endometrial cancers. If cancer does occur, years of training act like preparation. Strength, muscles, and cardiovascular fitness improve how well someone tolerates surgery, chemotherapy, or radiation. Entering treatment fit is like carrying reserves into battle. During treatment, exercise helps reduce fatigue, improve sleep, preserve muscle, maintain treatment schedules. And this is important. Exercise doesn't interfere with treatment. It often makes treatment more effective. Blood flow improves drug deliveries. Movement improves oxygenation. Strength training preserves tissue that would otherwise be lost. After treatment, exercise continues to protect, lowering recurring risk, supporting immune surveillance, and reducing long-term side effects. Cancer treatment can accelerate aging. Exercise helps slow it back down. This is not about extremes. This isn't about a call for punishment workouts. It's a call for purposeful challenge. Training that respects recovery, progresses over time, asks something meaningful of the body. You don't need to destroy yourself, but you need to give your body a reason to adapt. So here are my final thoughts. We're not at a place where anyone can claim exercise cures cancer. I'm not saying that. Genetics, environment, and chance all play a role. But here's what is clear. No matter your baseline risk, it is lower if you exercise. And as we've seen today, every single bout of exercise contributes. Every lift, every interval, every hard walk. They all shift your internal environment towards resilience. So the next time you train, don't just think about calories or appearance. Think about what's happening under the surface. Your muscles are sending messages. Your immune system is responding. Your body is adapting. That is powerful. It is one more reason why training with purpose, not punishment, matters for the long haul. So if this podcast resonates with you and you know someone who might benefit from it, pass it along. Always, of course, subscribe. And if you need any help with strength training or exercise, always contact us. We train people all over the country with today's technology. It's extremely easy. Doesn't matter what kind of equipment you have. It doesn't matter if you've ever exercised before, if you've been exercising a long time. We're here to help. So until next time, this is Chris Borda, and I'll see you with more information on how to get fit, feel younger, live better. Thanks for watching.